I don't think you could have handled the situation any better, both sides. Can you talk a little bit about after the fight? Did you get a chance to talk to your ATT brothers, and what did they have to say?
Yeah, it's just a professional thing. It's a professional deal. It's business, and it was uncomfortable for a bit. I thought it would be more uncomfortable for me than it would be for Robbie. And when you think of Robbie, you think of him as just a pure fighter, somebody who don't give a hell, who'll fight anybody, and he can care less who it is. But I think his respect for me and him knowing me so personally, even before he joined the team, did kind of bother him. So he got the respect as champion. And I did not even train in American Top Team. I did my entire camp at my ATT in St. Louis. I did 4 weeks there. I actually had the boy Zach Cummings come in. And then I did the other 6 weeks in Rufus Sport. So with that said, I just kept everything civil. It wasn't a ton of communication fight with the guys that were cornering him. But after the fight was over with, those guys came up and they congratulated me. And, I'll give Robbie a couple of days, but I'll reach out to him at the end of this week or next week and just I guess check on him.
Tyron, we've heard some of the names that have been thrown out there. 2 that you have thrown out, Nick Diaz, GSP. A lot of people feel as well Wonder Boy is in the running. Can you kind of give us, has the UFC chimed in at all and said, hey, this is what we would like you to do?
I think the UFC is going to let this week pan out because the one person that I chimed back. And at that point, I don't care who the hell else want to fight. If George St. Pierre answers the call and he wants to fight, we're going to get it on because you cannot be the UFC champion and you cannot claim to be the best in the world when you know that the living legend, the best welterweight in the history of our sport, is still wanting to fight. And if you have a chance to fight him, not only just for, economic reasons, but just to cement your legacy and really prove that you are the actual best, that's the number one choice in my mind right now. It sounds like George is down for the fight, and we just got to get some logistics figured out and get a date. It's probably going to be in November. I mean, I can't see them not having us fight as a main event in Madison Square Garden November 12th. Yeah. So I'm just
sick
excited,
fight,
man.
That's a crazy fight. Now, I guess if I'm doing the math right, it would still be outside of the 4-month window where a retired fighter has to let USADA know that they're back in the game so that they can start getting the testing. In which case, the UFC would grant an exemption. Mark Hunt kind of had a problem with that with Brock Lesnar because it was about a month notice. Would you have a problem with it that it'd be only 3 months instead of 4 months if they were able to get that thing together this week?
To be honest, man, I think I'm gonna win the fight, and I got to be confident in myself and my abilities. I know I never, put any type of performance enhancement drugs on my body. And I've lost to some individuals who were on performance enhancement, but I can honestly tell you that I didn't lose them because they were on that. I lose them because I didn't execute, because I maybe took too many steps backwards, or I took a rest on the cage, and it cost me traumatically. So I think George is a pure athlete. I think he was really pushing for the testing with Johnny Hendricks. I don't think he would have an issue with it. I think he wants to prove to everybody that he's clean. But I will ask for it. It's a big fight. Like, I don't want to fight anybody. If the rules say that, they're not giving out exemptions anymore, I don't want to fight anybody. I've been tested 9 times in this year alone, and I haven't fought in 18 months. Wow. So with that said, I will be pushing for it because, he's been out for 3 years, and, I don't want him to be like, hey, well, I got this exemption. Let me crank it up a little bit so I can get myself back up to the level I was at. So to answer your question, it doesn't bother me and concern me because I really think George will do the right thing.